Welcome back to our Key Concepts of ACT series. In this video, my hope is to take one of the most complex concepts in acceptance and commitment therapy and simplify it so not only you can benefit yourself, but you can also explain it to others. At the end of this video, you'll learn the importance of perspective taking and also what healthy selfing looks like. Let's begin by talking about the idea of the self. Now, there's a lot of ideas out there on what constitutes a self, but most of us agree that the self refers to a person. It's a person's identity. I, me, myself. We also agree that this self is an experiencer, but also the one who observes their experience. In ACT, the self is a position, a perspective, as well as a person. These three P's guide our understanding of what constitutes a governing self. First, they are positioned somewhere. You are on the other side of this screen, while I am on this side of the screen. However, by the time that you're watching this, you will be there and I will be somewhere else living my life, because this position is fixed in the here and now. Second, the self is perspective. Now, this perspective is what you see on your side. You see the front of my hand, but on my side, I see the back of my hand. Now, your perspective is limited because of where your attention is placed. You can't place your attention everywhere. So you may place your attention on the front of my hand and see it, but you also might be paying attention to the road because you're driving, which would make a lot of sense. Third, the self is a person. The self is embodied, meaning the self dwells in a physical body, which means it can only exist in a given position and with a body that includes all its sensory information, its neural processing, and central nervous system responses, as well as perception. This body is a person. It's who we see. It's who sees us. This self is conceptualized as a position, a perspective, and a person. Think of it like a tripod with three legs that offers this person a stable focus. There are basically three modes of selfing in ACT, referred to as self as process, self as context, and self as content. Self as process is the mode where you are experiencing the here and now. It's the flow of ongoing experience. From the moment that you took your first breath, you have experienced a consistent flow, whether conscious or unconscious, whether you remember or whether you don't remember. There's a you that has always been you, that has lived every second up until now. This self as process is an important feature in ACT, as it allows us to contact the present moment, to be here and now, so that we can take committed action toward our values. The next mode of selfing is self as context. Self as context is the timeless observing self, a vantage point that transcends experiences. Think of it as the sky that holds all the weather that's happening around the globe. In some parts of the world, there's major thunderstorms, while in other parts, desert conditions, and other parts are cloudy while others have clear skies. The sky contains all the weather, yet depending on the context, you can experience very different conditions. Context refers to the changing landscape of time. Here now, there then. As a self, a person that views life from a single perspective, we experience life as we're placed on top of a tripod, and wherever we point our attention gives us the context that shapes our perception. Now, this is getting very complex, but stay with me here because it'll all make sense in a moment. The third mode of selfing is called self as content. Self as content refers to the weather conditions of thoughts, emotions, memories, and sensations. Sometimes we get caught up in this weather, forgetting that there's a sky beyond it. Content is what grabs our attention, and soon we lose ourselves in this perspective. Now, we could be in a store, shopping, and a song plays in the speakers, and it begins to remind us of our ex-partner. Feelings of sadness and anger fill up our experience. We heard this song, and it grabbed our attention because of our memories of our ex-partner. Now we're lost in this perspective. Before entering the store, we were in a good mood. But as we leave this store, we're in a bad mood. Why? Because we became fused with the content of our experience. Imagine watching a play from the audience. You're separate from the characters on stage. Similarly, we can step back from our thoughts and experiences, observing them without attachment. This perspective helps us to reduce our reactivity to negative content. We can take a more flexible approach and point our attention to what else is happening in our experience. This is where understanding the three modes of selfing can help us get perspective. By developing self as context, we expand our capacity for perspective taking. Like a mountaintop view, we can see the landscape of our experience from a wider angle. This shift in perspective fosters empathy, understanding, and growth. You are free to laugh with the characters on stage, cry during dramatic scenes, and feel a rush of excitement during action scenes. You can do all of this and still walk out of the theater without becoming any one of the actors that you watch. Let's practice this self as context by going through a common metaphor and act called the chessboard. And it goes like this. Imagine your thoughts and feelings as chess pieces on a chessboard. Think of the white pieces as the ones you like confidence or happiness, and the black pieces as the ones you don't like anxiety or fear. Sometimes we try really hard to get rid of the black pieces. We want to win this battle against our negative thoughts and feelings. Sometimes it's like we're winning, and other times it feels like we're losing. But here's the thing. Have you noticed that even when we knock off some black pieces, they often come back? It's like a never-ending war, and it's a war against ourselves. We fight a part of our own experience, and this battle can take a toll on us. We can become so focused on our internal struggles that we forget about the world around us. Now, what if I told you that you could stop fighting this battle? What if you could see yourself as the chessboard of this game? Regardless of how the battle between the black and white pieces goes, the chessboard stays the same. It doesn't get damaged. It's like you. The chessboard can carry both positive and negative thoughts without you being affected. Think of your thoughts and feelings as chess pieces, and you are the chessboard. You carry those thoughts, but you are not the same as those thoughts. You can focus on doing what you want and let the thoughts be there, like chess pieces on the board. This way, you don't have to fight against yourself, and you can move forward in life, no matter what thoughts or feelings are there. In this metaphor, we can see the interplay of self as content and self as context. Just as we can switch the camera angles in a movie, we can intentionally shift our perspective. Now, we do this with the observing self. Now, a self as process is great for just being in the here and now, and the self as content may be good if you need to remember something, or maybe you're thinking, you're brainstorming some ideas, and you're trying to refer to things that you've learned. There's purposes for each part of the self, but the self as context can really help us to shift our perspective, to get us out of that storm that we're in, to be able to see what else is happening in our experience. Now, one of the best apps that you can use to get started is called Blue Life Coach, and it was originally developed for police officers to reduce their stress, and it's based on ACT principles, but it has applications for general use. What I like about this app is that they have breathing exercises, ambient music, sounds that you can just kind of relax to, and they also have guided meditations. I really like the quality, and I think you'll like it too. As we conclude, remember that you are the sky that has all the weather happening, and you are the chessboard with all the pieces. Embracing self as context allows you to navigate life's challenges with greater wisdom. By stepping back and observing, you foster a deeper connection to your inner world. The three modes of selfing provide a useful understanding of the self, as well as helps us to be able to switch in and out of different scenes of life. If you found this video valuable, remember to like, subscribe, and comment. It lets me know that I'm on the right track and providing things that are helping you learn, act, and improve your situation.